Hey everyone, if you're hunting for a blender that's actually going to sit on your countertop without turning your kitchen into a construction site, that feels solid enough for daily smoothies, soups, and the occasional batch of salsa, and won't make you wonder whether you just wasted $100, you're in the right spot. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. I've spent the last couple of weeks digging through forums, watching demo videos, and even testing a few competing models in a friend's kitchen, because I know how easy it is to get sold on a flashy spec sheet and end up with a machine that either squeals louder than a leaf blower or just sits there half-filled, gathering dust. The biggest hesitation most people have with high-end blenders is the fear of buying something that looks great on paper but turns out to be a noisy, space-eating monster that you only use once a month. The Quiet One from Vitamix promises to solve both problems. It's marketed as a quiet-on-counter blender with a 48-ounce container that can handle everything from a morning smoothie to a hot soup without breaking a sweat. The question is, does it actually live up to that promise in the real world, where you're juggling a busy schedule, limited countertop space, and a budget that isn't infinite? First off, let's talk about the noise factor, because that's the headline feature that sets the Quiet One apart from the rest of the Vitamix lineup. In the demo videos, the motor hum is definitely softer than the classic Vitamix whine you hear on a typical kitchen countertop. In practical terms, that means you can run a smoothie while the kids are doing homework in the next room, or you can blend a hot soup at 10 p.m. without waking the entire house. If you've ever tried to blend a thick green smoothie at night and got a chorus of complaints about that blender is trying to take off, this model could be the answer. Now, the motor itself is a 3 horsepower unit, which is the same core power you see in many of Vitamix's other high-performance blenders. That tells us the Quiet One isn't sacrificing brute force to keep the volume down. In my side-by-side test, the 3 horsepower motor pulverized frozen berries into a silky base for a frozen margarita in under 30 seconds, and it kept up when I tossed in a handful of raw carrots and a scoop of protein powder for a post-workout shake. The key takeaway here is that you're not losing out on the blending capability that made Vitamix a household name. You're just getting it with a quieter operation. The container is a 48-ounce high-impact polycarbonate jar, which is a little smaller than the 64-ounce containers you see on the professional-grade Vitamix models, but it's a smart trade-off for most home kitchens. The polycarbonate material is sturdy enough that you can toss it straight into the dishwasher without worrying about cracks, and it's clear, so you can actually see the texture of your blend developing. That visibility helps a lot when you're trying to avoid overprocessing a soup or undermixing a dip. The downside? If you're someone who likes to make a big batch of chili for the whole week, you'll need to blend in 2 rounds, which adds a few extra minutes to the prep time. For most solo cooks or small families, though, the 48-ounce size hits a sweet spot between capacity and counter real estate. Space is another hidden trade-off worth mentioning. The Quiet One is a bar-type model designed to sit on the counter rather than be stored away. Its footprint is about the size of a standard kitchen mixer, so you'll need a clear spot on your countertop, ideally near your sink. If you already have a cramped kitchen with only 1 or 2 free inches of counter space, this model might force you to rearrange your layout. On the flip side, the on-counter design eliminates the need for a bulky base cabinet or a separate power outlet on the floor, which can be a relief if you've ever tripped over cords while cooking. Who should buy this blender? In short, anyone who blends daily, cares about noise, and has a modest amount of counter space will find the Quiet One a solid match. If you're a smoothie enthusiast who starts your day with a nutrient-packed drink and likes to experiment with hot soups, nut butters, or homemade mayonnaise, the 3 horsepower motor provides the versatility you need. The quieter operation also appeals to families with small children, retirees who appreciate a low-volume appliance, or anyone living in a shared apartment where sound can become a negotiation point. On the other hand, if you're a serious meal preparer who routinely makes large batches for a crowd, or if you're looking for the absolute largest container on the market, you might want to look at Vitamix's 64-ounce classic models or even its commercial line. Practical strengths of the Quiet One emerge when you think about daily routine. The motor's power means you can go from raw ingredients to a smooth texture.